kind of ironic how we had a whole episode about sadism, and then we did a little clip of like the worst things that could happen, and that was the first video to hit 1,000 views
on TikTok.
That's funny.
Case in point.
What about the flight crew?
South Korean smugglers. They run flights into Pyongyang below radar the whole way. Did you think of an alibi?
Oh, yes.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Alibi Podcast.
Yes, that's right. 12 episodes.
One thing that has been weighing heavily on my mind is how we, every week almost, review a concert, but we don't have a rubric by which to grade these concerts. So I want to propose for our next concert, this is what we'll be grading on. From 1 to 10, stage presence.
Okay. Yes.
Musical and or vocal skill of the artist.
Yes.
Audience participation.
Okay.
Production value. And lore points.
Lore points.
For example, the Switchfoot concert I attended, 10 out of 10 lore points.
Yeah, with the guy getting arrested.
Guy got arrested, rained for 3 hours. 10 out of 10 lore points.
A lot of lore points with that one. Does the super annoying couple at the Judah and the Lion concert count as lore points? I don't feel
that's
like
lore points because you'll tell the story, but that's like 2 out of 10 lore
that's
points.
Like barely. That's L lore. Not cool.
It's at least relevant though. Judah and the Lion though, they get at least like an 8 out of 10 stage presence.
Absolutely, excellent stage presence.
He's
Crowd
got
participation was also like an 8 probably.
7 or 8. Yeah.
I mean, on a rubric of like the opener for Winter Jam to Travis Scott.
Right.
It's like
it's 1 to 10.
Yeah. And then we had a production value one. Did we have?
Production value.
Okay. So that's like on a scale from like an opener at Winter Jam to like Taylor Swift.
Sure. Yeah. Big arena, lots of things moving, kind of stuff.
Yeah. We should probably talk about the sadism episode last week.
Sure.
We talked about how people like bad things to happen.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of funny how we had the whole sadism episode, and then we made a clip about the worst things that could happen and like rank these worst case scenarios kind of game. And that was our first TikTok to hit over 1,000 views because you people are sadistic.
Yay us though.
Yay us for 1,000 views. But what's up with people liking awful things, huh?
I have a fun game. I have a fun game for us to play.
Oh boy, last time the fun game involved ranking awful things. What's this one?
Well, actually, I think you sent me a clip of this on Instagram. Someone else did it. We're both going to call our mom, immediately hang up, and see who she calls back first, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to count down from 3 to press the call button, and then make sure you hang up, like, immediately, okay? 3, 2, 1.
All right. Called and hung up. She's doing school with Tim right now.
Is she?
Yep.
That means she should be close to her phone, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right, let's see if she calls back.
Yeah, I guess to be continued this slot or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll come back if she calls. I'm surprised she waited this long.
Did it in like 2 seconds though, so I don't know if it even rang.
That's true.
Should we have done it faster? She's just gonna see, or not as fast. Should we have taken a little bit longer?
Yeah, let's try it again. Put it on speakerphone and make sure you hear the first ring.
Okay.
You've reached.
I went straight to voicemail.
Interesting.
Probably because yours was already ringing.
Probably.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, I got one ring, so I don't know.
I saw something very interesting on Twitter this week.
What's that?
Scars on a great white shark.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard this. What's up with the scars on a great white shark?
What the heck is giving these kinds of scars to a great white shark?
They're doing it to each other, I think.
That's such a lame answer. Like, that's a good answer.
What did you want? Aliens come down from outer space.
Yes.
Like, this is Aquaman and the Atlanteans.
Something
using
great, yes.
white sharks for, like, dog fights underwater.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure they just wrestle with each other. Was that literally
bite
it?
each other. Yeah, that was
it.
it.
You're just like, I saw these scars.
I want a non-fighting each other answer that's like conspiracy fueled. Like
Conspiracy fueled. The elites are rounding up the great white sharks and then slashing them up, apparently, because, I don't know, maybe great white shark blood keeps you young. Or maybe great white shark blood is what they put in the water to turn the frogs gay. So there you go. That's your conspiracy theory. Full.
You heard it here
Jones.
first, folks.
That's right. That's right. What's next? You have this question. Would you rather listen to Thick of It or It's Every Day, Bro? Every day for the rest of your life? I feel like, which song is shorter?
For anyone who doesn't know, KSI is a influencer and musician and YouTuber.
Musician is a strong word.
He's had a whole music career. I mean, he's
I
been
know.
putting out music for like 10 years.
I don't think I've liked any of his songs.
No, you're like da 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 da.
He had like a holiday or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. Oh, It's Every Day, Bro is 4 minutes long, and Thick of It is 3 minutes long. So I think I'm picking Thick of It.
Oh, because you only have to listen to it once, in theory. Yeah.
You have to listen to it once every day, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm going Thick of It. Also, I haven't actually heard Thick of It all the way through.
I listened to it. My opinion is it's not a bad song. It's like it became very popular online to hate the song.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad. Now, it's not good. It's not like standout good. There's nothing to it.
Dated and like millennial coded.
It's very cookie cutter. Yeah.
But cookie cutter from a while ago, like nothing cool.
Yeah.
Nothing that's it right now.
I wonder if we can blame it on TikTok that now it's like so uncool to not be unique and fresh.
I don't know. I think we've kind of created a culture of conformity, and in a sense, like anything that you try to do is just, it's going to be cringe to do anything different at all. So anything you try, people are going to absolutely hate on it for no reason. Whether it's good or bad, or new or not.
It sounded to me like a song that would do well on the radio.
Maybe. I mean, it seemed pretty uninteresting for the most part, but
But so is a lot of the stuff on the radio.
Yeah, that's true. It's background music. I haven't listened to the whole thing. That little whatever, maybe pre-chorus or whatever, is like from the screen to the ring, or where's my crown, that's my bling. I don't know. That seemed just really kind of bad writing. Like, there's like 11 writers on that song, and that's what you came up with. Like, you got all the money in the world for this song budget. It feels like it should be better, but I don't know.
He tried.
He did, I guess. I don't think there's any KSI songs that I've enjoyed or liked. I mean, there might be a couple Logan Paul songs that weren't bad though, or Jake Paul. Jake Paul's Every Day, Bro. There were a couple Jake Paul songs that weren't terrible, but there's nothing KSI really did that I did like or bump ever at any point. At least that I recall. He is a bigger YouTube rapper than Dax, though, interestingly. Or he was last I checked. Which is kind of interesting. But
That is interesting.
shout out to Dax, man, with that Lonely Dirt Road.
Yeah, I listened to it. Did you listen to it?
Lonely Dirt Road? I did, yeah.
When you saw that it was coming out, it was like, oh, is this going to be just ripping off the fact that, like, it's popular to make kind of generic country songs now?
Well, that's what he does. And I'm kind of sore with Dax for this, because back when he was rapping, he said something about, I could make more money doing what the mainstream prefers, but no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to rap. But he did that at a time when, like, YouTube rap was taking off, and it was kind of mainstream to do what he did. And now rap isn't cool anymore, and country is mainstream, and he's doing country, so...
It wasn't really a country song, though.
I know, but heavily country influenced. And stuff like, you know, his To Be a Man and Dear Alcohol is like, he's...
Those were on the country
pushing
music
twang,
charts.
you know? He was doing that on purpose, and he is absolutely chasing mainstream money with that. Like, you can't pretend he's trying to be countercultural at all. No. Which is kind of dumb in my opinion. I don't like it. But
I have a hot take to share.
what's that?
Let's see if you can guess what I'm going to say. I believe that this film is the single best film adaptation of a classic book.
Do I get to narrow it down at all?
Sure.
Classic book. So, is this an adventure book? That doesn't narrow it down, does
I don't
it?
know what that question means.
Okay, how about let's just do 3 guesses.
3 guesses? Okay, I'll give.
Is it The Princess Bride?
No. Also,
Not.
that doesn't count as a class. I mean, sure, it's a classic
Absolutely
book.
classic.
It's a classic movie.
Okay. Single best film adaptation of a classic book. A classic book. Interesting.
More classic than The Princess Bride.
More classic than The Princess Bride.
More classic.
This
than The Princess
book
Bride.
is more classic than The Princess Bride. I can't think of any classic books right now. Is this like Beauty, like Pride and Prejudice?
That's it.
Pride and Prejudice. Nice. Second try.
Pride and Prejudice.
So how is this a hot take? Pride and Prejudice is pretty much widely regarded as a great movie and a great book.
The single best. It's such strong language. I figured this would be.
I mean, it's not that. Like, what are you going to compete with it? The Princess Bride, maybe. What else?
I don't know. Fine. Okay. Maybe it's just
It's
agreed
just a
upon.
take, yeah.
The 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadyen is the best film adaptation of a classic book, and apparently there is no debate.
I just can't think of that many. I don't know. I feel like it's hard for there to be... When a book lands really well and is considered a classic, a lot of times movies really, really struggle to meet that standard and be both interesting and true to the book. I think Pride and Prejudice did that really well. Is probably the only movie I can think of that is based off of a book that's so widely regarded as a classic that managed to pull that off super well.
The Great Gatsby.
I haven't seen that. Was going to watch it, but then I didn't.
The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
A really, really, really good adaptation of a classic.
It is a good... Well, maybe that's up there then. Great Gatsby and Pride and Prejudice and The Princess Bride is probably like the top 3. Those are your 3 to pick from.
Oh, a lot of people really like To Kill a Mockingbird.
I haven't seen that movie. I don't think it's quite as iconic as Pride and Prejudice.
The 94 Little Women.
Little Women is a
With
good one.
Christian
that could
Bale.
be up there.
I really
could
like
be
that.
That was a good movie, yeah. And I do think it was a good adaptation of that book. That would be up there. Making this top 3 a top
Okay.
5.
All right, I've got some more for you. Some more. I looked it up, as you can tell.
Right.
The Wizard of Oz.
People did like
We don't
that.
love it, but it is considered great. Gone with the Wind is another one.
Yeah, and that's a little older.
Both of those are older, yeah.
I mean, the Wizard of Oz is classic, but also I don't think there's much of an argument to be made that it's like a great movie by today's standard. You know? First of all, like all the actors involved in it were pretty much killed by the production or
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
had lifelong injuries or repercussions to their physical health and well-being. Second of all, like, production value compared to today's standards was just garbage. But I don't know. What else do you have?
The Grapes of Wrath.
Again, I feel like that movie quite isn't as iconic, or isn't quite as iconic. I misspoke there.
A lot of the on this IMDb list that I'm looking at right now, a lot of them are like super, super old versions. But it is what it is. I stand by my original hot take.
I like your take.
All
yeah.
of this.
I like Keira Knightley. She did really well in that movie. Like, she sold her character super well. I think all of the performances were pretty solid. Like, all of the characters were very full characters.
Yeah.
The story was good. You could follow along. I think it portrayed the book pretty accurately. So, overall, yeah. I can hop on that mediocre heat I don't know. That warm take. I guess.
Warm take.
It's a warm take, I think.
All right, I have another, probably not even a hot take, probably not even a warm take, probably just a cold take that everyone should agree with.
What's that?
I bet you can guess it. The single best animated film of all time.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
No, that's no.
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron.
No.
Oh, dang.
One more guess.
Cars?
No.
I don't know what it is.
The Prince of Egypt.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. That's probably it. Yeah, it's definitely up there. I don't know if it's that cold of a take. That's a little controversial because I feel like Spirit is a great movie.
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron.
Spirit is up there.
Being superior to
That might be the hot take.
the Prince of Egypt.
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron might be superior.
That's a crazy
It
take.
might just be nostalgia for me. Like I mean, I'm nostalgic for both of them though. I don't know. Spirit was quite a movie. That was my favorite movie when I was younger. And The Prince of Egypt, I think both of them have super great soundtracks. Both of them have, I think, peak for the time animation.
Oh my gosh, there's just, the case is hard to make here. The Prince of Egypt is so good. The soundtrack is insanely amazing. Hans Zimmer just in his bag. The animation is not only groundbreaking for the time, but also relatively, like, it's potentially superior to lots of animation now.
Yeah.
Like, new movies that are coming out can't compare to The Prince of Egypt. And then on top of that, the cast. Val Kilmer, Ray Fiennes, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Sandra Bullock, Patrick Stewart, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Pfeiffer.
It was quite a star-studded cast. Absolutely.
These names are mostly old now, but those are like the stars, like the biggest stars of 1998. And on top of that, Steven Spielberg does not have a lot of animated films in his
The Prince of Egypt
repertoire.
was more commercially successful in the box office. 218.6 million worldwide. And Spirit was 122.6 million.
What year did Spirit come out?
2002.
Okay, it's only like 4 years apart, but it's worth noting Prince of Egypt is before the turn of the century.
Yes. Why is that worth noting?
Because there were some serious, like, what year did Toy Story come out?
I don't know.
There were big strides made in this particular space.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Oh, Toy Story was already out. Toy Story's 95.
Yeah, that's a really old movie. Talk about a movie that has held up shockingly well.
I know, kids still watch that.
And Toy Story doesn't seem like a trash movie after all this time.
Although the animation is pretty awful.
It's a little sus now, yeah.
Spirit, Matt Damon.
Yep.
It's got Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is probably the biggest name now. Maybe James Cromwell. He was in there. But most of these people aren't quite as famous or successful, at least now, as the cast of The Prince of Egypt. That's an impressive cast. They really put everybody in on this one.
Also, in terms of like people singing in the movie, you've got Val Kilmer, Steve Martin, Martin Short, but also on that soundtrack they had Ray Fiennes too. But also on that soundtrack they had Whitney Houston,
and Mariah Carey.
Was it
Mariah Carey?
And Spirit has Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams is awesome, bro.
Yeah, but comparatively, Spirit Stallion of Cimarron has some bangers.
Yeah,
Get Off of My Back. That's a banger.
Bro, also like the heart-wrenching songs like Sound the Bugle, bro.
That is
Sound
a sad
the Bugle in a kids movie? What? That song went, oh my goodness. That song hit so hard.
But you're playing with the Plagues.
I know.
From the Prince of
Egypt. The Plagues goes crazy. The Plagues goes crazy. I think in terms of like songs that go hard, the Plagues goes harder than Get Off My Back.
100%. Also, Playing with the Big Boys goes harder than Get Off My Back.
Playing with the Big Boys was a song, dude. But like, When You Believe was cool and emotional, but Sound the Bugle was
all right, yeah,
heart-wrenching.
So Spirit takes it in terms of like sad moment.
Emotional. Yeah, that was an emotional song and a very emotional moment. Like, why are you this emotionally invested in this random horse, buddy? Like, what did you think? I don't know. I thought that went crazy. Bryan Adams did great. Also, like, there was a lot of great ones. Like, I'm Free was crazy.
It is nice to have kind of a rock-inspired
the one that was like,
soundtrack.
Here I Am. Here I Am is a really great way to capture the young stallion mentality, I guess. I don't know.
Speaking of a sequence that does just a wonderful job of, introducing us to the world, the chariot race from the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That
was good.
Art, the choreography,
the relationship between Moses and Ramesses.
The whole thing was just amazing.
Do we take points away from the Prince of Egypt for being historically inaccurate?
If we're gonna do that, we have to talk about the talking horse.
I don't know. I feel like you can get away with the talking horse, but I think it's just generally accepted that it wasn't Ramesses at this point,
It's not generally accepted. If we want to go down that rabbit hole, interestingly, and I would have to do a little bit of reading to refresh my memory, but I did a lot of reading about this in high school, and I imagine you did too.
Yeah, we did.
Because we did kind of the same high school curriculum. But putting the time of Moses at Ramses and Seti kind of was trying to make allowances for a really, really old Earth.
Yeah.
Right, millions and billions of years old. And I know this is controversial in some circles, but as time goes on and there's more and more proof that the world is probably not that old, most scientific evidence places the Earth at closer to 6,000 or 7,000 years old.
Right.
As that evidence comes out, a lot of scientists are kind of reworking the history of when things happened, and it seems a lot less likely that Moses and the Israelites had that. The plagues essentially happened during the reign of Ramses.
I don't know. Ramesses was the widely accepted answer for a while. But a new timeline kind of, it was new at least at the time.
It's about 10 years that it's
written.
Yeah, around 10 years now.
You and I read for high school a couple of years back, but they changed the timeline and aligned it differently, and they found a lot of evidence that looked like the great migration of a group of people out of Egypt during the time of a different pharaoh.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. So there's this pharaoh whose name I cannot remember right now, but he kind of came to this belief in this monotheistic belief, as opposed to the whole country having been, believing in tons and tons of gods for years and years.
Yeah.
This particular pharaoh is well documented to have come to this monotheistic belief, and he had a couple of close priestly advisors, and they all had these beliefs. And then the end of his reign was, we know documented from Egyptian lore and writings, that his reign ended. He died in battle or something, unclear. And then this Ethiopian army invaded from the south with no resistance whatsoever. The Egyptian army had somehow completely disappeared.
Right.
For example, for theory's sake, what if maybe they were at the bottom of the Red Sea?
I think the idea may have been that it was Amenhotep.
Yes, that sounds right. I think it might be Amenhotep.
Amenhotep, whatever. David Downs is the guy. Revisited Egyptian
Who wrote the book.
chronology. Fits with Moses and the 12th dynasty. Yep.
But Joseph, as I kind of read into
Joseph would be Imhotep, which I guess would be previous to Amenhotep, but I don't know. I might have to look into this again.
Yeah, I'm going to read into it some more too. But I remember there being quite a few Egyptologists who were kind of buying into this.
Right.
this new theory, and also it just makes a lot more sense in terms of the rest of the Mesopotamian history of the time and where things were in the Fertile Crescent, and then also the oncoming Babylonian empire.
Yeah, a lot of interesting evidence. But, you know, we're not Egyptian archaeologists.
We are
and all
not
of that.
Egyptologists.
Yeah. A couple of articles I might have to read here because I haven't looked into this in like 3 years at least. Actually, it'd probably be more than that because it was like freshman year, which I was 12 at the time and I'm 18 now. So
I read into it more recently than that.
I don't know.
Anyway, something else, much more recent history that, everyone in their 30s is going to laugh at us when they hear us discuss this as history, but this is something that happened that I had no idea about until relatively recently.
Yeah.
Happened a number of years ago. The fall of the Soviet Union happened, right? We all know about that. Metallica plays
absolutely
in
massive.
an airstrip. So the Soviet Union is falling. Metallica is playing at this airstrip, and there are over 1 million people there.
I saw a video of Shane Gillis telling Rogan about this like a while ago. Like, I've seen clips of this concert several times, but I think Shane Gillis talking to Rogan about it was when I like learned more about it, probably.
One of the guys from Metallica was on a podcast recently talking about it, and that's what I saw.
I saw that too.
Kind of introduced this to me. Again, this is the biggest concert of all time, presumably.
Yeah, it probably wasn't bigger back in the day.
Biggest documented concert of all time. There's no way the people in the back could hear, but Metallica just gets up in front of well over 1 million people, just shoulder to shoulder, like so many people. Yeah. And they just do their thing, playing some pretty hard rock music.
Yeah.
And during the show, there's helicopters flying over the people. Right. And people are starting to mosh.
Yep.
And go crazy in the crowd. And this is people that have been under an oppressive communist dictatorship for years. There's no point of reference for this. The police and the military are in helicopters trying to keep things in line, but there's millions of people
just having a metal concert.
Yeah,
it's
wild.
Yeah,
but what a celebration of freedom! Heck yeah,
we're free now. Enter Sandman. Yeah. Okay, so we're almost out of time, but I want to talk about this last item on the agenda. An artist.
Oh, yes.
Artist.
So I recently was listening to a Christian rock playlist.
Yeah.
Of the top Christian rock songs. And I came across a song from an artist that you and I used to like when we were really little. In the 2000s to early 2010s, who I had not thought about in probably 10 years.
Really?
At least in this context.
Okay.
And he's a bigger name in the Christian rock space now.
Who is it?
Manafest.
Manafest?
Yeah.
I thought Manafest was gone.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize he was, what? Wow. I'm looking it up right now. Manafest, huh? Every time you run Manafest?
Same guy, except for that song is super duper old.
Very old. Very, very old. Not, maybe not very, very. I don't know. It makes you sound young to say very, very.
Yeah, it makes you sound very young to say that.
Let me pull.
Pull Trevor McNeven from TFK on the song.
Right.
He's got 500,000 monthly listeners, which is, pretty good for the space.
The Chase 2010. That's Every Time You Run. Came out 2010.
Yeah, like I said, all right, late 2000s, early 2010s is when we listened to this artist.
His top song, 48 million streams, is from 2006.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't.
Some of his most famous stuff is still the older songs, but he's he's the cover artist for Best Christian New Metal playlist and stuff like that.
He's less rap rock now and more new metal or something?
Well, new metal and rap rock have always kind of been... I mean, the defining artist for both would be Linkin Park.
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting. Ledger is one of the similar artists. I haven't thought about Ledger in a while.
Ledger, for anyone who doesn't
release
know,
music.
Ledger was the solo project from Jen Ledger, who's the drummer for Skillet, which is a much more popular rock band.
Yeah, Ledger hasn't dropped in a song.
I think she just
in
put together like the one EP
4
and then a
years.
single, and then that was kind of focusing on Skillet.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely focusing on Skillet, how the mighty have fallen with Skillet, but
That's a topic for another day.
how much time do we have left?
We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we are at 30 minutes, so that has been episode 12, right?
We're going to see you next week. We are filming a Marvel
That's right.
special edition episode.
We can't tell the people too much. Go away now.